Hello, my name is Michael Blauner, and I'm the instructor. It's very casual out here, so there's occasional bugs. And if you see me scratch myself, it's because there's a couple of bugs in my wife's garden. I'm Michael Blauner, and I'm your instructor for Opera Tradition, Laugh, Love, and Hum. I'm trying to save class time, and instead of handing out a paper with my resume on it, instead I'm going to read some notes from the resume so you get to know me a little bit better. Now, first, let me thank you for watching this video. I hope you find it worth your time. I graduated from university.
You might explain why it's jumping up and down.
Oh, the video is going to be a little bit jumpy because my wife is holding it. And Betty Jo has had Parkinson's disease for the past 17 years. She is gutsy, she's heroic, she's smart, she's brave, and she's wonderful. So I think you can put up with it. Thank you. I was graduated from the University of Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in philosophy in 1959. By that time, I'd already been going to the Metropolitan Opera on a fairly steady basis for 2 years. And I continued my attendance there when I graduated from college. I stood on line at the Met.
Dr. Blauner?
Yes.
Speak a little louder and slower.
Okay, thank you. I used to stand on line at the Metropolitan Opera. Well, I did one of the two requests. I used to stand on line at the Met. And that is probably the best education anyone can get. I remember a great tenor, Franco Corelli, and his wife serving us coffee and donuts. And I remember going backstage and with my friends learning to ask appropriate questions of singers so I get to know their art, even appreciate their art even more. I moved to Orlando, Florida in the early 1970s, and at that time my opera going decreased, even though I do recall a performance of Manon Lescaut in Orlando with Richard Tucker bumping into his wife. Sarah Tucker, after 5 years away from New York, recognized me by face and name. I guess that's because I'm a character. At any rate, I met Betty Jo in 1975, November 1975.
Hello.
Sorry for the interruption. I met Betty Jo in 1975, and it was love at first sight, I believe. And we got married, and I quit my job and went back to school. And we ended up in Cleveland in 1980. Bought a house in South Euclid and raised our kids there. When I finished my Betty, they don't want to see roofs and vegetables and dirt.
I'm showing them what Cleveland looks like.
I'm sure they all come from Cleveland.
Oh.
And if they don't come from Cleveland, if they're from Europe and they're watching this by accident, well, I guess they'll like the comedy. When I graduated from Case Western with the PhD, Betty Jo arranged a surprise with Carola and David Bamberger, and they greeted me as my surprise 50th birthday celebration and graduation all in one. And David got me involved with Cleveland Opera's coordinator of the pre-opera talks. When Betty Jo came down with the Parkinson's, and she needed more attention, I retired from my job and I went to the earlier version of Cuyahoga Community College's elder learning program. Had a lot of fun in those days, and we also went to work with Oasis, which was a venture of the Cleveland Clinic and other community organizations. And I went to a lot of the independent living facilities as a representative of Tri-C and did opera talks there. We moved to Reno, Nevada because Betty Jo couldn't stand the cold, and you're going to wonder what the heck we're doing back here. Couldn't stand the cold. Reno is her hometown. Her mother and sister and brother-in-law lived there, and some of her old friends. And she it ended up that we didn't realize Reno is 6,000 feet up in the air. Even though Betty Jo grew up there, she forgot about it. And with her arthritis, fibromyalgia, when the air pressure changed, so did Betty Jo's responses to the air pressure. It was very painful living. So we decided to move to a place where there was less air pressure, less problems, and that was the Tampa Bay area. Both of us have family in that area, and we settled there and lived there for 5 years. There in Reno, first of all, I was very active with the Reno Opera Association. I was their outreach coordinator on a volunteer basis. Visited a lot of nursing homes, again, and other independent living facilities. Perhaps the best moment was when one night, first night of an opera opening, 6 buses pulled up and unloaded all the people I had been seeing in those independent living facilities. From there we moved to the Tampa Bay area, as I said. In Tampa, I became active with the Pinellas Opera Association. Maybe if I move my head as this camera is moving, it'll be better. The Pinellas Opera Association, I appeared in many venues in that area. I'm not going to even list them all. If you want to get a listing of them, you can contact me by email at virtual, virtual, .opera, opera, at yahoo.com. And unfortunately, it was too hot for both of us there. It's hot 10 months of the year, and the other 2 months aren't exactly cold. We preferred to come back to a place where there was 4 seasons. Now show them the garden, a lovely garden. And you're going to see the garden.
Here we have
To it.
beautiful morning glories. Some red flowers. Don't know their name. Tomatoes. All kinds of herbs. I don't know what this is either. Maybe somebody can call in if they know. And that's all.
We moved back here. We have our lovely garden. I'm teaching all those wonderful students. And Trice, will you please show the camera on me? Thank you. Lori Rosenberg is going to absolutely crack up when she sees this.
Are they paying for this?
She's going to have to pay me extra for this. So, again, thank you for watching. It's a pleasure teaching you. And let me turn this off. Oh, I might do it again. Okay, very clever.